what's up guys? Welcome back to a brand new video.
Take this shit, man.
I'm back.
Dude, your community is completely cancer and you know it.
Yo, miss me with that gay shit.
Into the
I'm gonna use this video to address the allegations made against me.
Welcome back to That's Cringe, ladies and gentlemen.
I fucking hate cringe culture. Cringe culture is the constant and severe persecution of anything or anyone that could be viewed as a source of secondhand embarrassment or awkwardness, which has become deserving of ridicule. Cringe culture makes a content creator attempting to align their content with a genuine and sincere version of themselves nigh impossible. A content creator's personality must pass through a complex system of superficial filters to avoid the wrath of cringe culture. The same people who advocate for the suppression of anyone who might be considered cringe were or oftentimes the first people to shill out money to their favorite manosphere grifter or the newest unsanctioned online gambling site they saw being advertised in an Instagram Reels comment section. This is why my channel's motto is cringe is compulsory, the byproduct of sincerity. You are only truly free when you operate within the confines of what you truly enjoy and resonate with, not being bound by the faux righteousness and ever-changing guidelines of acceptance determined by strangers. The concept of people on the internet seeking out individuals that could be considered embarrassing is nothing new. Lolcow culture predates the turn of the millennium and acts as a subgenre of cringe culture in modern times. Any poor, unsuspecting person, usually with some sort of neurological or mental disorder, or even just a straight-up child, will make an ass of themselves on the internet, and now 4 dozen guys on unemployment will dedicate their lives to fucking with them, while crowds of bystanders sit on the edge of their digital seats, encouraging and cheering for them on the forums and videos that they share their exploits on. The people targeted are always unwell in some way, causing them to react and engage back with the trolls. And the more they do, the more ruthless and relentless their harassment becomes. And because of the human mind never being designed to handle hundreds or sometimes thousands of people harassing them at once, their psyche begins to unfold further, and they fall deeper and deeper. And because of the fusion of their already pre-existing psychological issues and the unfettered harassment, they become worse people, which leads to the trolls being vindicated, because now this person, that is, even if they viewed them as a person in the first place, deserves the harassment and ridicule. I am not declaring my support for people like Chris Chan, or making a statement testifying that they are innocent, but oftentimes you have to wonder if some of these lolcows, especially the less severe cases, would have suffered the same fate if they were simply left alone to their devices, instead of being subjugated to others, trying to repeatedly break them until they finally hear that mental twig snap. But lolcow culture is a lot more localized and smaller in comparison to the wider internet. Like I said, it's usually just a handful of guys living off of their mother's social security checks and harassing a dude on the most obscure corners of the internet. Modern cringe culture, on the other hand, has become the norm. This is what the culture of the internet at large is now. But why? All roads have to lead to somewhere, and in this case, the birth of modern cringe culture stems from a now fading, distant memory. Leafy is here. Remember him? Many of us, including myself, were young at the time his content peaked in popularity. Young kids and teenagers were the exact type of shitheads his relatively new brand of content attracted. Easily susceptible and stupid, it's no wonder his channel exploded in popularity when he started making the videos he would become infamous for. When he was ridiculing a woman who was exposed for abusing and exploiting her dog for sexual pleasure using peanut butter, who'd proceed to confess her love for him on fucking Drama Alert.
Alex!
No one batted an eye, because the whole situation was so absurd, anyone would have done the same. Then when Leafy lampooned Jacob Sartorius for releasing his song and music video Sweatshirt, his fanbase jumped on it and fucking ate the child musician alive for posting something he had created. Was the song so bad it can make your ears bleed and beg for mercy?
Then you can wear my sweatshirt, and you can tell your friends.
Yeah, most certainly. But in retrospect, it's just a fucking kid who made a song that wasn't good. Objectively though, none of the backlash Jacob Sartorius received was even remotely proportionate or deserved, but people followed along because in their mind, Leafy was right about the peanut butter girl, so why would he be wrong now? So they mindlessly followed his warpath. And when your audience of children and teenagers is in the tens of thousands, all who wanted to feel edgy and righteous, they weren't going to care about the potential ramifications of spewing unfettered hatred towards some kid. His channel's entire brand was targeting low-hanging fruit, such as children who were just having fun posting content on YouTube. A prime example being the Pokemon Go kid. Yes, you can say that the people he made videos of, both adults and children, were making asses of themselves publicly, and therefore ridicule should be expected. But firstly, why? What does bullying these people do for you as a person? Does it fulfill a sense of superiority? And secondly, even if these people were already being made fun of, some chinless freak putting you in the spotlight of literally millions of people who all wanted to just be like their favorite edgy commentary YouTuber is only going to make things objectively worse for everyone involved. There is a fine line when being a self-righteous edgelord on YouTube, criticizing people who deserve it, turns into being some hateful, obnoxious, and egotistical twink whose personality and success revolve around videos of CSGO surfing in the background while being a dick to young children and disabled people. Leafy certainly wasn't the first to pioneer this genre of content. After all, lolcow culture is as old enough to see towers fall, and then some. Though, he certainly perfected this cyclical formula, which grew far larger than lolcow culture ever did, due to the fact that anyone and everyone could possibly be the target. No long-winded trolling operations required. Just record yourself playing CSGO Surf while talking about some cringy video you found, making sure the video is just a few seconds over 10 minutes to get those sweet mid-roll ads. Remember the 10-minute ad revenue meta? Simpler times. Leafy helped lay the foundation for modern-day cringe culture content creators presently, and then became the victim of it. The formula that I was talking about goes as this. Number 1. Harshly ridicule someone who arguably deserves it at first. This step is of course optional since many simply target people who don't deserve it at all. Number 2. Reap and exploit the engagement from that content, gaining thousands of followers and fans. Number 3. Dedicate your presence on the internet to seeking out anything or anyone who can be perceived as cringe, as it's what your new fans expect of you. Number 4. Escalate your content by pushing boundaries with borderline harassment and grotesque comments, digging deeper and deeper to find more people to make fun of. Number 5. Your bounty board of justifiable targets to scrutinize depletes, if you even had any to begin with, so you find anyone who fits the mold as cringe. Number 6. Your wrath evolves into an addiction to irrational hatred so severe that you become viewed as cringe yourself and become a social pariah, fading into the same void of obscurity that you once wished upon others. But there's also another ending, of course. Those who saw the writing on the wall and made a hard pivot to making content perceived as normal, such as making overly edited 15-hour-long documentaries about video games where you spend half the runtime slowly reading out item descriptions and the other half summarizing what happens in the story instead of actually talking about the game itself. Or maybe you fancy making videos about the state of world affairs due to being oh so qualified to make political commentary. Or maybe even you decide to spend the rest of your life spending 9 hours a day doing live podcasts and slowly losing your fucking mind. You know who you are. A total pivot, completely washing you of any responsibility for the fact your success is built off of ridicule and bullying. And when anyone brings up your past, you can simply say that you've changed and what you made doesn't represent who you are anymore as a person. After all, we all know even a simple apology can be too draining to say, am I right? But wait, what if you actually are regretful for your past and make a heartfelt attempt to apologize and become a better person? Well, fuck you. That's also cringeworthy. Sincerity in your words, that's a weakness. Empathy for who you've hurt, for the birds. The culture you fostered will chew you up and spit you out. But you knew this would happen. After all, you helped to build and spread it. That's not to say that these people who feel genuinely sorry for what they did don't deserve redemption. Of course they do. I'm simply saying that they are still figures who contributed to the birth of modern cringe culture, and that shouldn't be forgotten. Whether or not these content creators decided to absolve themselves and obfuscate their past, or make a genuine attempt to address and repent for their mistakes is irrelevant at the end of the day. The damage was done. These people have contributed to a culture where the act of sincerity, excitement, or simply being a little embarrassing is punishable by order of death by 1,000 comments. If you don't mask yourself with 1,000 layers of irony and composure that you can't even recognize who you are anymore, then you will have the constant looming threat of people viewing you as cringe and therefore in need of vitriol. To reiterate, most content creators are condemned to tirelessly polish their content and become a slave to sociological obedience training just to avoid being labeled as cringe on the internet. This is not exaggerated. There has been an entire catalog of innocent and harmless content creators who have lost their platform due to a simple label and regurgitated attitude towards their content. To support my argument and claims, I present to you 2 examples of modern cringe culture policing the content of others. First up is Terraria Slime.
Relogic just announced that their next major update, version 1.4.5, is now in the final stage of development.
The top comments of this specific video are users insulting the content creator's voice. That is it. The video is informative, well-produced, and harmless. The creator of the video either has a natural, higher-pitched voice, or is speaking with an intentional inflection to express excitement and happiness over an upcoming update to the game Terraria. The result of his excitement is half of the comments consisting of straight beratement. That's it. The people of Instagram decided to fuck you for having fun and having a higher pitched voice. Yes, I am aware of the reputation Instagram's user base has. This is not esoteric arcane knowledge, but it is disappointing. Next up, we have a clip of some My Hero Academia fans just enjoying themselves and not bothering anybody. Now, I have never seen My Hero Academia, and to be honest, it doesn't seem like my cup of tea. Liking shit is subjective. No one is forced to watch an anime, enjoy it, and become a part of the fandom. So, it is unfathomably hard to feel sympathetic for the people who are declaring their feelings of cringing because of observing the way a fandom behaves, even though no one is being harmed or exploited. The recording is just a friend group of cosplayers having fun together. Who fucking cares if they aren't pretending to ironically like something? So what if they're silly maxing? These people look like they're having a better time and more enjoyable use of their time than a majority of the global population. Just because you're a miserable chud doesn't mean they should become self-loathing too.
If only a girl lost control and ran the satanic ritual, truly divine prominence.
Homie wants these cosplayers to become victims of vehicular manslaughter? How fucking bad could their life be to produce this kind of spiteful aura of misery? Oh wait, everybody, I figured it out. That makes perfect sense. They're a fucking Albanian New Yorker. These creatures are incapable of feeling joy. They only have the capacity to resource guard against rival Romanian immigrants and steal copper wiring from unsuspecting Italian construction firms.
Fuck's all that? Fiber optic cable, high-speed internet access.
Fiber optic cable. A lot of money in this shit.
It's a piece of ass, but fucking rude.
High-speed internet access.
Whenever you express your dislike or disdain of the cringy thing you're viewing, you must always have a sense of superiority in your inflection. You have to broadcast that you think you're better than them, or else you lose your edge, and everyone can clearly see how much of a loser you are. The people who have embraced the faux principles of cringe culture and assumed the role of constable of content use the tools of harassment and social rejection to punish those who violate their rules for how someone should conduct themselves on the internet. The same people who call others Discord moderators are themselves, subconsciously or not, attempting to moderate the internet to appease their ego and sense of superiority. Even when someone does something weird or downright gross, if it isn't harmful or a heinous crime, then why should an entire legion of strangers obsess over their actions over the internet? If the content creator is doing mildly problematic things, the problem could more than likely be solved with the intervention of a few people within their personal life, such as friends or family. What does not contribute to any solution is the input of 3,000 people on the internet constantly antagonizing and harassing them. In fact, it almost always does more harm than good, and poses a risk of throwing someone spiraling into depression, resentment, or the dismantling of their psyche to where they are pushed to the brink of criminality. But the masses yearn for their bread and circus, and do not care about this or the consequences of a simple hate comment. All that they see is someone that displeases yet entertains them, so they must all express it to the person en masse. The argument of just turn off your computer falls flat when the vitriol being thrown at you is constant, even affecting your real life, almost always without your consent. You know that these comments from anonymous people are, at the end of the day, still other human beings saying these things to you on a scale of hundreds, sometimes thousands. Regardless of if it's the internet or not, seeing that many people say such hurtful things directed entirely at you will damage your mental health. Even if you were to disable comments on your content or any engagement at all, people will just screen cap your work and share it around. There's no winning in a culture that is built and thrives off of hate. You like something a little too much, and now thousands of people are mad at you and either won't tell you why or will make sure you know exactly why, and no doubt breed new insecurities into the person. I am willing to bet that this is a major contributing factor to the rise of tragic events such as school shootings. When people face unproportionate social consequences, are shunned and or exiled from any tangible acceptance vital for social development for just being themselves. It will push them to darker and darker places, and in the worst case scenario, they'll be pushed into the arms of dangerous and evil people who accept them and will groom them into becoming something horrible. If you take anything away from this video, it should be this. Being nice to people is free. An acknowledgement, a compliment, or listening to someone can change their day and maybe open up a new, more positive trajectory for their life. It'll change you too. When you become a better person, you'll be surprised who may come to help you in your most trying times. And as always, thank you for watching this video and leaving any engagement. It means a lot to me. I'll see you around in good health.
Hello? I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good, I would call her. Wish I had a rabbit in a hat with a bat and a 6'4" parlor. I wish I was like 6'9" so I can get with Leoshi, cause she don't know me, but